Hi everyone, and welcome to the Interlingo Freight Management Systems tutorial on rate configurations. Now, the first thing to understand regarding rate configurations is that you have account rate configurations and standard rates. Now, essentially what IFMS allows you to do is, depending on the collection and delivery address, the system will choose either a account rate or a standard rate. For example, if you are driving cargo from Windhoek to Swakopmund and you have a deal with the account that you're driving that cargo for, IFMS will automatically use the account configuration, not the standard rates. If, however, you do have if you do not have a deal with that account to drive cargo for that collection and delivery combination, the system will automatically use the standard rates since you don't have an agreement with that account for that specific collection delivery combination. So let's get into if you want to create your standard rates, or if you want to edit your standard rates, that you can find under the Freight tab under Standard Rates. Otherwise, if you want to edit a specific account rate configuration, or if you want to create a new rate configuration, you can go to File, New, Rate Configuration, and then you can create a new account rate configuration that way. If you want to look up an existing rate configuration, you can, let's just close this. You can head over to the document search, look up rate configurations, and then enter the name of the rate configuration there, open that up, and start editing. Okay, so I'm not going to work on standard rates now, since both standard rates and rate configurations, account rates, work on basically the same principle. So let's say we want to create a rate configuration for example company. Now, usually I'd recommend keeping the name of the rate configuration for an account and the actual account name the same. It just makes it easier to keep track, because it becomes quite difficult to manage these if you lose track of what is what. So I'm going to call this example rate config. Actually, I have to put in the right config, but okay, example co. The selected revision date. What's nice about the way we do the rate configurations is that you can have multiple revisions of the same rate configuration. So essentially, you can choose the date on which this specific rate configuration, is applicable. So let's say I want to make a change to the current rate configuration, and I only want the new rate configuration, to apply on the 24th of May. I can select that, and no waybills will be cost according to the new rate configuration until that date. All the waybills created after that date will be cost according to the new rate configuration. Next, you can put in a volumetric factor per account, which is quite useful. Next, let's get into rates by cargo type. So in IFMS, you could have multiple types of cargo. So you can load by weight, you can load per drum, per container, per full load. So you can charge clients a certain amount based on certain cargo types. So in this case, we only have a standard weight cargo type. So we're going to charge people per kilogram. So let's say weight. Next up, you can create a collection delivery location combination based on a location table. So example, you can say everything going from Windhoek to a combination of locations. So we can say heading to Swakopmund, heading to Oranjemund, heading to Kamanyap, Okay. And so all the cargo going from Windhoek to one of these locations charged based on this rate configuration, obviously, if it's on that account. So let's add rate configuration categories. So let's say we want to start counting at 0. That might not make a lot of sense now, but you'll click it in a moment. So the cost component type is transport. So we want to work on the transport fees. Starting unit would be 0 kilograms. And everything above 0 kilograms would essentially then apply to this. Let's say, okay. So you'll see that the system created a column here, essentially saying everything above 0 kilograms at a certain rate per kilogram. Okay, so if I say here 5 Rand per kilogram, 8 Rand and 7 Rand per kilogram, the system will then charge in this situation, if you're driving, for example, a weight cargo type from Windhoek to Kamenjap, it will charge 5 Rand per kilogram. Or if you're driving, for example, a weight from Windhoek to Oranjemund, it would charge 8 Rand per kilogram. Other options you also have is you can say, no, but this anything above 50 kilograms should be a fixed rate, or it should be a percentage of the value of the cargo, or it should be a minimum charge, or everything after 50 kilograms should be charged at a different rate. So the restrictions on this we try to keep at a minimum. It might be a bit complicated at first. The best way is just to try it out, play around, and see how the system reacts to the inputs that you make. But we specifically try to keep it as complex and flexible as possible, rather than make it simple and ineffective. So my recommendation would be just create a few rate configurations, play around, and see how the system reacts to how the system costs various combinations of these inputs that you make. Okay, so for example, in this case, what I put there is the system will now charge everything above at 5 Rand per kilograms until it gets to 50 kilograms. From that point on forward, it will charge 8 Rand per kilogram, or 10 Rand per kilogram, or 11 Rand, or 11 Rand per kilogram, etc. Now, the next thing that you can do here is select that this route is omnidirectional. So what this then tells the system is that even if the cargo is going from Kamenjap to Windhoek, the same rate configuration should apply. So since I now ticked omnidirectional, the system will charge everything on the example account that is a weight from Kamenjap to Windhoek. It will charge 5 Rand per kilogram. For anything less than 50 kilograms and anything more than 50 kilograms, it will charge 8 Rand per kilogram. The next thing is rates by total weight. Now, what this does is you can essentially do the same thing as here, but instead of looking at the weight of any particular unit of cargo, it will look at the entire weight of the entire weighable. So, for example, on a weighable, you could have 5 boxes of 3 kilograms, 10 boxes of 7 kilograms, 2 boxes of 1 kilogram, etc. And each one of those parcels, it would charge based on this. If you want the system to look at the entire weight of the entire weighable when calculating a particular thing, you can use this total weight, total weighable weight You can also say here on levies, you can include a few levy here and include the rate there. Okay, and that basically covers the basics of the rate configurations. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Also, best recommendation is just to play around, see what the system does.